In the loan shop, we also have the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. This shares a lot of the same features as the Ursa, the same menu system, all the same kind of features really. So if you're used to filming with the Ursa, this is essentially an Ursa in a much smaller package. The size of this camera means that it could be more easily filmed with one person. So if you're going out on a project by yourself, this is a lot more easy to kind of operate and use by yourself. It shares all the same codecs as the Blackmagic Ursa Mini, however it also features Blackmagic RAW, which is a compressed version of RAW. So you have all the benefits of RAW in a smaller package, which is really good. There are, however, some quite big drawbacks to this camera as well to bear in mind when shooting with it. First of all, the battery life isn't great at all. It fits Canon LP batteries like this, but normally out of one of these you're going to get about 20 minutes. So we're bearing that in mind. The loan shop does supply a Sony battery as well, which you can attach to the top, so you get a bit more of a longer lifespan out of it. So don't just rely on the battery that comes with it, use the Sony battery that will also comes in your kit bag. It doesn't quite have the same dynamic range as the Blackmagic Ursa Mini. This is kind of around 12 stops instead of that really large 14, 15 stops. So when I film with this, I sometimes notice that my highlights clip a little bit more easily and things like that. Something else to bear in mind when working with this camera is the mount is different to the Blackmagic Ursa Mini. The mount is a micro four thirds mount, so micro four thirds lenses will fit this camera. So lenses which maybe you filmed with the Panasonic GH5 before will work on this. Bearing that in mind, the camera does come with a Metabone adapter, meaning you can adapt EF lenses to it as well. Just make sure to use the adapter. As mentioned, being a micro four thirds mount means it also has a smaller sensor. That smaller sensor means you're going to get more of a crop with your lenses. So a 35mm on the Blackmagic Ursa, for instance, will be more like a kind of a 58mm on this camera instead. So bear that in mind. Maybe you need to opt for wider lenses when shooting with this camera. Something else to bear in mind when choosing between the Blackmagic Pocket and the Ursa is what kind of frame rates do you need. The Ursa, you only get 50p out of this, which is kind of slow motion, but not really super slow motion. This camera has much higher frame rates, such as 120 and things like that. So if you want that kind of super slow-mo effect, this camera could be the one to go for.